Hello, this is Andrew Ford for Photo Focus, and today we're going to look at the wiggle expression. Now, the wiggle expression can be applied to almost any attribute, like position, rotation, scaling. So here we have some text that says wiggle, and we're going to show you how to apply the wiggle expression. In this instance, we're going to apply it to the position keyframe of this text. So we're going to Alt-click on the stopwatch or Option-click if you're on a Mac. And it's going to open up the expression window. And in place of what is written there, we're going to type wiggle, then a parenthesis, open parenthesis, then the first value. The first value is the amount of times per second that the wiggle occurs, then a comma, then the second value, which is the amount of pixels of movement that you'd like to occur, and then close parenthesis. Now, if we play, we will see a lot of wiggle because we put 100 movements per second and a wiggle of 100 pixels. Now, if we change it to 1 movement per second, you'll see a very slow wiggle. We're moving 100 pixels over 1 second. If we put the wiggle back up a lot but turn the movement down, so the frequency is high but the amount of wiggle is low, you see a very subtle wiggle, a fast but subtle wiggle. So that's how the wiggle property works. Now, let's look at a real-life application. We'll delete this layer and look at a photo of mountains that a client gave me. This is a still photo a client took, but they want to make it look like they shot it with a video camera. So, I have added position keyframes and just panned across this photo, as you can see. My problem with this is it's perfect movement in After Effects. This doesn't look like a human took it with a camera. It's way too steady, way too fluid, way too perfect. I want a little bit of imperfection whenever I do a camera move. This goes for a tilt, pan, or a zoom. So if we open up the position, Alt-click the stopwatch if we're on a PC, or Option-click if we're on a Mac. And once again, we will type in wiggle, parentheses, and the value, comma, value, close parentheses. So let's start with a subtle value of 1 and 1 and see what happens. There you go. Now, if we put in massive wiggle, it'll look like an earthquake, right? I'm just teaching you what the properties look like here. But since we want this very, very subtle, let's do something like 2 movements per second and maybe 0.8. Not even moving a full pixel over that time period because, again, we're not trying to make this look very shaky. We're just trying to make it look like it was actually done by a human and not a perfect computer movement. We'll also sell this by going to the first keyframe of positioning, right-click and choose Easy Ease Out. We're going to go to the last positioning keyframe, right-click, go to Keyframe Assistant and choose Easy Ease In. And what this is going to do is make our beginning motion ease into the pan and then gradually slow out of the pan. So it's not going to come to a screeching halt. It's going to start slowly and ramp up, do its movement during the middle, and then ramp down. And that, again, makes her a nice camera movement. And maybe this is even too much wiggle still, but basically you can see here that we have something that looks much more like somebody took this shot with their cell phone and it wasn't a still that we moved via computer. Thank you.